Welcome back to the Same Page Book Club. You are reading with Fran, Rhea, Kelly, Gia, and we are back for our first episode of February to discuss the first half of The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. We wanted to go romance. We took a turn. Somewhere we took a turn. Our initial thought was we're going to do romance. It's Valentine's Day and something like that. We had some options. People were sending ideas. I've been looking at whatever, top romance books of the last blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And this is high up there. And I think it went viral on TikTok. And that probably should have been my first signal. But It went very viral on TikTok. And people love it.
Well,
it has...
To be fair, it was the book that our audience voted on for us to read.
Yes. And it was by far. And I will say that when I went on, and I'm going to double check so I know exactly, but when I went on Goodreads to double check, sort of just what the thoughts were on this, it has a 4.5 on Goodreads.
Fran,
unbelievable.
Which is really high. Really high.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it. And I have to say right off the bat that this, no wonder it's doing so well, really, though. It's trauma porn. This is a trauma porn book.
Yeah.
It is chock full of the most depressing shit, back to back to back. Oh, you thought of a new idea for something depressing? It's in this book. Everything gets worse as the time goes on, and I can't stay silent. It's crazy how depressing this fucking book is.
One thing that I'm glad we didn't do, and we should continue moving forward, is that none of us texted about this book. So we're sitting down, we're giving some first opinions. I think we all kind of read the first part in the last, when did you finish, Rhea? The last few days?
Last night.
Yeah, okay, so I think we
so
all
did I
finished
well.
last night.
Fresh.
It's all fresh in our minds. We were all really, really thinking about it.
Up to chapter 15, by the way.
Last night, because it took me forever to read the first 15 chapters. I walked in today, I looked at Gia, you two were not here yet, and I thought, all right, I'm going to ask someone right off the bat because I'm afraid to say it. And basically...
And Gia's the right person to ask first, by the way, for this, because she has a low tolerance for
She'll never hold
books
back.
like this.
And we mutually agreed that we did not like the beginning of this book or what we have read so far.
Yeah.
And that it has been hard for us to get through. And I think coming off the last book that we did, going right into another book that has to do with
having a sick
terminally ill people in it.
Cancer specifically.
Children.
Back-to-back cancer kids.
Yeah, right.
Are we crazy?
Children who are sick and dying. And there's just... I also feel like it is taking up a large portion of the book, right?
Yeah, it's the majority of the book.
Majority of the book. A lot of the chapters are will she get through this fever?
Yeah.
And it was not what we had in mind for Valentine's Day romance.
No,
I know.
even
And
close.
I think we kind of, I went through the summary and I kind of thought that was a part of it, but not
the main
focus.
100%.
And here's the thing too. I think we were all warned. I know we all got a bunch of DMs and the book club page got a bunch of DMs of people who have read it already. And they were like, buckle up.
Yeah.
It's just, so it's which is so interesting to me because so many people do love it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people were like, buckle up. And I think when that happens, and I don't know how we can remedy this going forward. It's kind of impossible to do because whatever book we pick, there are going to be people that have already read it and they're going to give us their opinions before we even read it. So it's the amount of people that were like, get your tissues ready. So when that happens to me already, I don't even really get that sad because I'm anticipating.
You're anticipating
people
sad.
are like, it's so sad. I cried so much. So I'm like, okay. So I'm already mentally preparing myself for the sadness. And then I don't know if because of that, the sadness doesn't hit as hard.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'm
happened to you,
am
right?
I
Isn't
not
that kind of what happened to you?
I felt it was
last
only
book?
the one thing. And it was only that. And I will say Ryan's like I've died letter was the only time that maybe I got like a little
of course
misty.
that
I didn't even tear up once.
Me too. And I gotta say, I felt more annoyed than sad.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
made
like,
me
you're
feel like a
putting
bad.
so much pressure on this guy to go
Yeah.
take care of your sister. Like, damn, like give this guy a break.
It made me feel like a bad person because once again, I am someone who cries at everything. Makes me. I get really happy for people. I cry. I get sad. I cry. And I'm reading this book and I'm like, God, like I'm just like annoyed
it's
at it.
almost like we didn't have enough like character development for Ryan almost, and like so like when he died, like I was just like, okay, like I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
True. And that's fair. Honestly, that is fair.
You're right.
It's like we're supposed to
Like,
trust.
I'm
He's just
only-
like the brother of
Yeah,
the whatever.
like all I know
and
is that he
it's-
told Beckett to write to his sister, and that he went to the military when
Special
what's her face
ops.
didn't want her to. You know, when the girl.
It seems
Ella.
very like, and I forget. I think I wrote this down. Or it's like generational. I'm trying to see if I wrote down the right word. I was trying to think of it. Like generational trauma, but it's like in the military family. So like her dad is in the military, her brother's in the military, their extended family's military. This guy shows up, he's military, and it's like
she
all
won't let
these
you
men
forget it.
who and she won't let you fucking forget it. And
Yeah.
all these people are leaving, and they're addicted to the thrill of being in war, and that's like her vibe. You know, her perception of it or whatever. But the never ending down and out sadness is just, and I agree, like I was crying throughout because I will cry always at something sad.
Yeah.
But I was angry while being upset because I was like, again, like every chapter, the kid's got cancer again, the brother's dead again.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
She's
with
got
just
one of
after
the most.
the other.
Rebecca created maybe one of the most down bad female characters, and I
it's like
like
not
Ella
only-
and the fact that like she's strong, like clearly she's very strong,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just when you list it all out, it's like dead parents, dead brother,
Dead grandma.
dead beat, dead
Dead grandma.
both grandparents,
Both grandparents dead.
deadbeat,
dad.
deadbeat baby daddy,
in
Yeah.
debt.
In
25
debt.
years old twins.
Yep.
And in
6-year-old
debt,
twins, one's
mortgaged,
got cancer.
mortgaged
Her
Her 6-year-old
her
twins who sound like they're 35
house. Like I was gonna say, the 6-year-old twins
when they talk.
are.
They're the worst characters.
Oh my
I'm
god!
sorry.
I was gonna say they're the best.
I actually don't mind. I
Oh my
don't
God,
mind
I was
the
like,
kids
at
as
least
much.
the
I don't
kids
mind
are
the kids
sweet.
as much.
The thing
I
is with
don't like how she uses the kids as like
Rebecca
main.
Yarros.
Rebecca Yarros uses the kids as like main characters almost, and like they are catalysts in Ella and Beckett's relationship. Like I don't like how these kids are like, I don't know, almost egging on the relationship in a way where I'm like, how do you even understand what's going on? You're 6 years old. They're like, are you gonna be my dad? Like,
they're
like,
pawns in her little game.
it's so cheesy. Like no 6-year-old kid is like talking like the way that they talk. I don't know, and I just feel like they use the kids as like pawns, almost
I
to
do
like
wanna say- I get
get
that.
him to get Beckett to like
Well,
look
it's like
better.
Beckett, right? Beckett is so focused on taking care of these children that it's like that's all that matters. And I appreciate that he's this gentleman who's the dad that stood up or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
the dad that stepped up.
The dad that stepped
Yeah.
up. Thank you. And I appreciate his tenacity, but I do think at the same time he seems so focused. Like he himself needs therapy first. Like you can't just take on a whole family of down and out people. You gotta, are we working on ourselves at the same time? Like he's got his own issues, and I think that what's her face is fine to like have her. Ella is like fine to have her guard up, but at the same time, like everything would be a lot easier if everybody was just telling the truth. And he was like, yeah, I was the guy writing you letters, and we fell in love over there, and now you're down and out, your brother's dead. I want to be here. I want to go visit him at his grave on your little island, and I'm going to spend a fortune to like stay at your luxury resort for 7 months. Like, where's this money coming? A lot of questions out of me while reading.
You had something you were gonna say.
Oh, that's why I picked up my phone, is that when this book was first brought up, I kept seeing how sad it was, and I sent to you guys like a little thing that said, it is so fucking heartbreaking, whatever, and I sent it to the group, and everyone was like, nah, I think it's just the beginning. I think it's just the beginning. And I was like, I don't know, guys. I think it's the entire
So
book.
that is exactly how I interpreted it. And like you said, it was
Like
like
you were
I thought it was
saying,
going to be a piece of like, oh yeah, we opened the book. the kid's going through cancer, the brother's dead, whatever, and it's going to be a book about like building and moving forward.
It felt like maybe she was already going to be
trauma.
coming out of the cancer.
Yes,
and
literally,
so-
yes. Like, oh, she's on the way up. But no.
I thought the same thing, and kind of to Gia's point when you said like we don't know the characters that well. So when the book starts off with the characters going through so much, it's almost the opposite of the book that we read last time, where you get to the end and you have kind of built up a relationship with these characters, a little bit of more of an attachment, that it's a lot sadder when they go.
Yeah.
Whereas like right off the bat, we lost the brother, the kid's sick, but we don't have an attachment to them just yet. So I think maybe that's where we're falling short of the sadness as well as being warned about it, is that maybe we just don't feel attached to them yet. And I'm sure as the book goes on, and maybe Maisie will make it to the end, and then
let me tell you, I mean,
she's really battling, so I don't know. But I'm saying if it then at the end then it will feel a lot more emotional to us, because we will be like,
listen,
we've been
I
on
want
the
Maisie
journey.
to live, but it's not, the prognosis is not looking great. The
prognosis
90% chance of death. That's crazy.
It's really not looking
That's
good.
a high chance.
And let me tell you, the fucking principal is pissing
What
me
the fuck
off.
is that about?
That-
Who cares about kindergarten attendance?
I genuinely couldn't wrap my head around the fact that they were so hard on her attending kindergarten.
Would have punched
and
that
not
guy in the face.
Getting through the
Absolutely.
fact that their kid is dealing with cancer.
That
Like,
really reminded me of Chatham.
Right. At what point does the principal say, you know what, don't worry, we'll advance her to first grade and it's fine.
No,
She's
yeah.
dealing
How about
with
just
cancer.
we'll figure it out?
We'll figure it
They
out.
don't know what they're playing
How
with
about
the future that they're
the
unsure.
teacher is
We're gonna
literally
keep talking
right there being like, I'll go to her house
She's
and
good.
teach her.
Like, and she's smart.
they're
She's
like,
bright. She's not an idiot
We
kid.
need to keep talking about the attendance record. I'm like, why are we talking
That
about
was
the
so
attendance record so
crazy.
much? That shit pissed me
Well,
off.
you know
Because
what,
it's like
though,
the
when-
theme is just like everything keeps, everything's
Piling
for
on,
her,
yeah.
for Ellis.
It's something that
keeps
they
piling
brought
on.
up, which I kind of like. I don't agree with them bringing this up while she's in the middle of all this shit, and like they know what's going on. They know she just had the surgery. They're waiting to see what's happening. But I understood a little bit their point of view, where it's like, all right, we've got this little girl who's in and out because she's got cancer, and there's all these kids who are of the age where they're asking questions. And he said something about like it's stressing out the teachers and the students. And I did think about like the kids when I was growing up, because you always you have a cancer kid always, and so that's very sad. But it was always like the biggest thing going on. It was like, oh my God, this kid in school, like, you'd get the bracelets and then you get the bad news or the good news or whatever. And I understand that. But I think that from where I can tell, it's only been like a year barely of this.
Yeah.
And so why are we, get her out of school, get her away, like hide her away that soon into this situation? I don't know.
There's
It
a
seems-
lot of
I don't work in the school, so I don't know.
yeah. The principal for sure,
like,
but
I don't know if that's a normal thing that principals would do, because it did seem really insensitive.
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah.
So one of my least favorite tropes is the man who has a secret who just repeats to himself how much he's a secret but won't tell the secret. I hate it so much. When I am reading every single Beckett chapter, it's like,
Fran.
if only she knew, but she can never know.
Francesca.
And it's
I
over and
felt
over
like
and
I
over
was
again.
reading the same thing
Yeah,
over and over again.
His inner
How
monologue
many
is
times is this
over.
motherfucker gonna bring up his secret? Like, we get it. You have a
Yes.
secret. You don't
Yeah.
have to blatantly write it out every single fucking
But
chapter.
it's-
but I felt
it's
like
so
it was the same with
repetitive.
Ella too. Like the same writing in the same chapters every time. My dad died, my parents died, I don't have this, I don't have that. We get it. You established that in chapter 3. Like, we don't need to hear it again a bajillion times. Like, you can bring it up in different ways that aren't just blatant line for line the
Right.
same thing that you said 2 chapters ago.
Right,
Like,
exactly. And you know the buildup is just for her to find out that he's actually chaos and
Yes.
how she reacts to that. But we've seen that so many times. It's
Right.
like, girl falls in love with boy, she doesn't know his deep secret,
Yes.
secret's revealed, she has to get over it because
She's
she
mad
really
at
loves
first,
him.
pushes him away, but then
pushes
she
him away.
comes
we
into
know
terms
you
with
have
it.
a secret.
I
You
found
don't
it
have to say it.
a lot easier to read Ella's parts than I did Beckett. I found
I agree,
myself
totally.
kind of just like hoping I would get through his part and getting to
Well, he said
Ella.
the same thing every single time.
And he said
Yes.
the same thing every
Every
time. And by
time.
the way, I don't care about his dog. I really don't. I know that that's going to be like a really hot take.
Yeah.
But the dog is a main character
but
in the
his
story,
dog
apparently.
is like a main
The dog has
character.
way too much going on.
And here's the thing: if they just mentioned he had a sweet dog, I would be way much more into it. But for some reason, the dog is as much of a main character as the kids.
Oh no! When he told the dog, protect Maisie and Colt. How the fuck does a dog know what he's
that dog is a genius. It's a military dog.
Those dogs are,
I will say,
dogs
have you ever seen a military
Did
dog
he
work?
teach them the kids' names?
They do.
Yes,
The
they
military
know
dogs are
they're
very-
geniuses.
I will say though, there is a really
Don't shit on Havoc.
It
It's
is
not
true.
her fault.
It is true that the military dogs.
No,
there
I'm
was
not a fan of
really
Havoc.
sweet line though that did get me with the dog, and I was like, okay, Havoc might be.
Oh, I think I wrote this
Might
line
be
down
my
too. Say it.
favorite character, even though I said I don't. But I don't really care about any of them. When he is saying to stay with Colt and,
Yes.
and is like, "You're borrowing my best friend, so I'm
That's
letting
what it was.
you use mine," or whatever
Yeah,
the line
yeah.
is.
Maisie says they get to the hospital. It's Beckett, Ella, and Maisie, and he shows up, and she's like, I left Havoc with Colt, and she goes, "Oh, you let my best friend borrow yours."
Yes,
and
I thought that was really
that
sweet.
got me.
I was
good.
like, okay, it's making sense now. This,
Yeah.
that
means a lot.
Made it work.
Yeah, and like a 6-year-old wouldn't say that. Sorry.
Although I know,
I don't
agree,
know.
but
I know some
6-year-olds
6-year-olds that say some crazy stuff.
They do
just
say
feel
some
like
crazy
they
shit.
I will
talk
say
so
they do talk very
insanely.
adult-like.
They say crazy
they do.
shit.
Yeah.
But
They do.
sometimes little kids say the most profound things
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they really they haven't seen much yet, so it's like very pure.
Yeah,
They're
and the dad line
uninhibited.
like does it like that being like, "Are you gonna be my dad?" actually does to me sound like something a 6-year-old said. You know
sure.
how many times my now nieces would look at me and be like, "Are you gonna marry my uncle or what?"
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Yeah,
when they were
yeah.
really little. I'm like, how do you
Yeah.
know
I
what
just
that
mean
means?
like
they
the dialogue
Right.
that they have. Like I don't know how to. I wish I could describe it in words, but I just felt like they use like the kids almost have too much investment into the relationship. Where like the
Well, they're
kids are
immediately
like,
involved.
yeah.
the kids are like.
it's been like what, a few months? He's about to top them.
I think I said.
Right,
I think I
it's-
said this. I don't know another word to use, but like the catalyst, like they're using the kids as like pawns in their relationship, and I just don't. I don't really like when a character has kids.
That was a reveal that
Okay,
she had
so
said the
this
other
was
day.
coming.
So we're getting to the root of the
Okay, the
problem.
root of the problem is Gia doesn't like kids.
Gia
in
would be a
books.
hater in Telluride who'd be like, "This girl with her twins."
I was
Yeah.
like,
She-
and
the
you know,
Sarahs
I
and
don't
Hannahs
really
and the
like how
Sunday
like
Best.
anti-abortion they were, but whatever. Like I get it.
It was a little heavy-handed with that.
Yeah, I was
felt
like,
that way too
okay,
at
like
the
it's
time
not
while
really
reading
that
it.
big of a
I
deal
said,
if she
okay.
wanted to get one, but I don't know. Maybe it's just my inner dislike towards
so
children.
I wanted to bring up now the writing style of Rebecca Yarros because I think that we need to factor in. I need to do some research on her life because I need to know if she has a military background, who in her family has a military background, because kind of talking about the dog and how much time they're spending on this military dog and the relationship that he had that she has with whatever.
Something's gonna happen to the dog.
Of course, makes me think
Because
that.
it's like they're building up this
It makes
dog.
what I
and
mean,
like,
that
is she
Rebecca-
gonna fucking do something to this dog?
And
And
we-
that's
and-
where
and
I'm
probably-
search and rescue mission.
That's
The dog
where
is
I'm
gonna.
gonna lose it.
And that's what we don't like, and we've talked about that, and that's why I'm saying the dog is too much of a main character.
Yeah.
That something
100%,
is
which
gonna.
it makes me suspicious, but it also makes me wonder, like, who did she speak with to do the research? Because it's very, and I need to text Chaps out in Chicago who did do this in the this was his job.
Yeah, he would know. I
And
mean, these dogs
he is
are
a Rebecca
geniuses.
Yarros fan. He likes the Fourth Wing books, so he would know. I'm sure he's read this, but I'm sure it's a pretty accurate representation of like that type of relationship. But how would she know that if not to know someone like that? So I'm wondering like what her background is there. But that being said, I think that Rebecca Yarros, I love the Fourth Wing books. I love that fantasy world. I think it's really interesting. This book is like Mad Libs for that series, but with different kind of trauma. Like instead of fantasy and dragons, it's cancer and military.
I find Violet and Ella to be very similar.
And I think that, and I noticed it specifically with Rebecca's like
the
repetitive
answer.
obsession with arms.
Yeah.
She always, and like in the fantasy series, she talks constantly, Violet's talking about Xaden's arms, how big they are, wrapped around me, blah, 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 hold me up, whatever. That's exactly how she talks about him in this book.
Also, how many times are they going to say he looks like Chris Pratt?
Every
Like,
minute,
that's not
right.
a flex.
But that's how, right. But that's, he's hot. You can't lie
and
about
by
that.
the way, I have somebody in mind that I've been picturing him as that has made it easier for me to get through the book.
Yeah, I do not picture him as Chris Pratt.
No,
I
me
picture
neither.
him
No.
as Scott Eastwood.
Okay,
That's
a good one.
That's a good
That's
way
a
to
good
I won't
picture
say
it.
the girl. I will save it for
Yeah.
when we
Yeah,
talk.
yeah.
I pictured the guy
again.
from The Housemaid.
Oh,
Brendan
Brendan
Scott.
Scarlett.
Yeah.
Arm.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
another
a
good one. They
too.
kind of look alike.
Yeah.
I don't know who I
definitely.
picture. I picture No, I don't picture a person that I know.
This is such a role Scott Eastwood would play.
I immediately, as I was reading this, I cast
this
Scott
is
Eastwood.
Unfortunately,
Nicholas
it's
Sparks.
bad, Gia.
Yes.
I have that written down.
Yes.
In my notes, I wrote.
This is Dear John, but
it's
like
just
worse.
Dear John
Yes.
bad. It's just like bad Dear John.
Listen, I love Nicholas Sparks.
So do I.
My
Same.
notes.
So do I.
So do I. Oh my god, I love. I read all. I love
Nicholas Sparks was just like my entry into like reading
when I
real
look at
books.
you-
Of course.
This just feels repetitive to like something that's already been done.
Yes.
You know, I wrote this has Nicholas Sparks brand all
Yeah,
over it.
100%.
Yeah.
But what about James Patterson? Did you guys read James Patterson
No.
books?
No, I
growing
never
up?
really did.
That's too spooky.
The thing is,
there's
my
no
mom-
mystery in this.
James Patterson is like more spy stuff. No.
James Patterson, to me, any book I've ever read of his is like murder mystery loosely based. Yeah.
So Rebecca Yarros began writing while her husband was deployed in Afghanistan.
Then there we go.
Okay.
Then that's exactly why we had this book. And
Yeah.
thank you for
And her
filling in
and
that
her husband
information.
have 6 children. And
Okay,
Yarros,
there it is.
And her sons both have a
6
genetic
kids.
tissue disorder.
Okay, so this is
It's
her
not like
life.
yeah,
this is a story of her
it's
life.
very
basically.
it's more
Does she,
personal.
Did her husband work special ops with a dog?
Right.
that it does not say.
Okay, well, I would be willing to guess yes, but that's kind of what I think a lot of this is, that repetitive conversation,
Yeah.
not only with Beckett and the secret, Ella with her trauma. The kids are always talking about the same thing, like, but then even the way they talk about his looks and stuff, like that's just her writing style,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And
So
I didn't
repetitive.
realize that would translate to other styles of books that she would write. And I don't
Right.
necessarily love it in this. Like I don't love this iteration of it.
Yeah.
I think it's a little too heavy-handed with the cancer stuff, with the death, with the like. I wrote this down. There's a moment in the book where they're in the hospital. It's her, Ella, Beckett, and Maisie, and she's like about to go for surgery. Whatever. I wrote down. It's the kid is dying of cancer, off to a surgery she may not live through, while in the corner he's talking himself off of a PTSD ledge. Like he's like trying to fight PTSD while she's rolling into the OR. He's supporting this girl. It's just the amount of sadness and grief and emotion that's happening in one moment is almost too much to digest while reading, that it makes me like averse to it. Like kind of what you're saying, like I'm not crying because it's too much.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
no,
I can't.
it does feel like
unrealistic.
every
like,
chapter, it's like one more thing.
It's
And
crazy.
then, to be honest, I don't know how you guys felt about the like very brief sexual moment that was in it, where I was like, okay, here's the thing, like, do I love a spicy book? I do.
course.
Of course.
I love a spicy book. But I want, like, if a spicy book's gonna be spicy, like, I want it spicy throughout.
Yeah.
This felt out of place.
Yeah,
to
totally.
me. Like, it
Agreed.
didn't feel like they had that kind of relationship. And then all of a sudden he was like, I'm so hard for you. Like I want, and I was like,
I didn't like that.
He's like,
He
rubbing
rubbed
his,
up on against her and
and
was
I'm
like, you feel this?
Like,
And
yeah,
he
he
was
was
like,
like,
my dick is throbbing.
Yeah,
it was
no.
chapter 13.
something about her
randomly.
like making
again,
her come.
is
I was
that
like,
not-
whoa.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was like,
Is that
I was
not,
like, he
though?
barely can string along a sentence in any other chapter. Now he's like,
and he said to her, "I will know how to make you come. I will know when you come." Like,
yeah,
and
I was like, whoa.
it was quite
Like,
the
it
switch
just
up.
like
Because
really
I
came out of
didn't
nowhere
know-
for me. And
Right.
if he
It felt very Violet Zayden to me, where they did
totally.
nothing, and then all of a sudden it was.
Yeah,
it
it was
was
like
yeah.
if he from the beginning
lightning
had a little
strikes
more
because the orgasms were so good. It's like
had more
enough.
sexual conversations, I'd be like, okay, fine. But it was like, and then they went back to normal real fast.
I did think that part was kind of funny, relatable though. Like when you have like a weird moment with your guy friend or something, and you're like, no, you're gonna. I kind of liked that she was like, no, you're gonna stay and
I
watch
did
a
like
movie,
that,
so
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah, so
awkward.
that
Like
was not
after, because I know
weird.
you and I know you're gonna make it weird.
I actually
thought
like
that was
too.
funny, but I do
Yeah.
agree. Like it was a very strange sequence of events.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
right.
were-
Because I was like, "Is he in her or not?" Like,
no.
I genuinely
No,
was like,
just rubbing that
yeah,
throbbing
I was
cock
like,
up on her,
Yeah, I was
Bria.
like, they're dry humping.
Yeah,
or
they're just
is he in
grinding.
her? Like, and then all of a sudden, and then the next sentence, they're watching a movie. I said, "Okay, they
Yeah.
decided not to do
Yeah.
it."
Yep.
There was a
was strange.
point.
That is brave
where-
of them to decide
It
not
was
to
brave.
do it.
It was
because-
brave.
Yeah.
There was a point at the hospital as well where he finally like hugs her for the first time, and it's like he like rushes up to her and holds her, whatever. And in that moment, he's like holding her so tight that he's worried that she's pushing away and he can't
Yeah.
realize it. And I wrote this down because I liked what she said. She'd said that I've forgotten what it felt like to be held together.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
was
I
nice.
like that line
liked
too.
that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said
yeah.
that's actually lovely.
Yes.
And if you've not
There
had
are
that
some-
in a while, then maybe.
Yeah.
I was like,
And it would be really nice to get a hug right now. No, I'm kidding.
There are some
Sorta.
nice moments. Like, I know we're kind of shitting on the book, but I will say I'm not like I'm not hating my experience reading it.
I have to. Obviously, we're finishing it. I have to know what happens.
As
This is
the
just my
chapters
current.
have gone on, I've grown to hate it less. Because now with this, and it's like I don't know how to feel because it's one I've grown to hate it less because I want to know what happens. But the absurdity of what this plot line is, like you're telling me that this random guy that you've known for a month is gonna adopt your kids. And listen, I get it because you will literally you're willing to do whatever to have your kid live. Like I get that. It just seems so absurd to me that I can't grasp the fact that like he's gonna adopt her kids. Like that just seems
I'm kind of feeling opposite.
so
where
risky.
If someone was like, "I'll adopt your kids so they can get healthcare," I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." Like,
I
no
gotta be
questions
honest.
asked.
That part was actually the least shocking part to me. I was like, okay, it makes sense.
No, I saw that.
I was surprised by her
I was surprised
reaction.
by her.
Yes.
Here's the thing, like the marriage versus adoption thing is where she lost me a little bit because
Agreed, actually.
clearly she has relationship trauma and all that.
Yeah.
But like, if you really
cares,
are
y'all?
putting your kids first and you're looking out for Maisie, you're like, well, I'll put myself in jeopardy and I'll get married.
Yes.
And then
And
that'll
that's more
fall
of a-
on me
Exactly
and
for
not the
him.
kids. Because if I leave, then it's like, if he leaves, then it's like, oh, our relationship ended. He left because of me. You can be like, oh, Maisie, Colt, our relationship didn't work out.
Yes.
Therefore, he's gone.
Yeah.
Straight up just adopting them is like, yeah, okay, if he does leave, then it's like, no, he didn't want to be your dad, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
It's
that
crazy.
is really selfish, I think.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
such
didn't
a good
like that.
point.
And
I didn't like
she's
that.
25. I felt that same way for him while reading. I was like, this
was
is
like,
kind
just
of a
marry him.
selfish way to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Like,
that was my
what's
what
the
I
big
meant
deal?
by what I meant by least surprise was the marriage. Like
Yeah.
that part, him offering that was the least surprising thing.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
like,
That-
Come
yes.
on,
Yes.
mixing
No,
it
that
with
makes sense to
insurance
me.
fraud.
that's what I
It's-
thought. I was
Of
like,
course.
wait,
Taylor's
just
oldest
fucking
time.
marry him
Yeah.
and like get the insurance, and then if you can
Right.
divorce,
And
I don't
then-
know.
and
With
after
the
it works out.
adoption,
People
you got to
do this
get
every
Jeff
day.
involved, and nobody wants Jeff involved.
No,
So,
the
like,
adoption
No
is
one
a,
wants
is a
Jeff
way
involved.
just
other
seems
step.
way more
but
complicated than just going to the courthouse.
The
and
marriage,
signing
I
a
didn't even
few-
blink my eye. I was like,
Yeah.
just do it.
Wait,
like I
when
don't.
that when that lady
yeah.
was lost, like in the mountains hiking or whatever, and the dog had to come and like find the lady.
Havoc.
Havoc.
Havoc saves the
I
day.
in my head was like, I hope that the lost person is Jeff. Like that's what I was really.
Why did I think that it was going to be Jeff?
I was praying. I was like, let it be Jeff, and let him like leave him there or something crazy. Like, I was like, that's where this book
I
is going
thought
to
that
turn.
it was
like,
going to be Jeff too.
because I felt like it kind of was leading up to him. Like, 'cause he's asked a lot of questions about Jeff. He's like, you know Jeff? Where's he
Yeah.
work? What's this?
Well,
What's that?
I'm
Like, is he
kind
gonna
of
go beat
afraid-
Jeff's ass?
I'm
Yeah.
afraid that Ella is so jaded from the relationship, and we've seen this happen in books.
She's
but I
mentioned it
think
50 times.
I think
Yeah,
she could potentially be lying about Jeff and Jeff's parents. I think she could potentially be like, they didn't want anything to do with the kids. They want to see him. And I think like, I'm afraid that Beckett's gonna go be like, sign these papers, and Jeff's gonna be like, I've been trying to have a relationship with my kids for forever.
Got it.
That could be because like the parents just randomly showing up
Yeah, that was
and then
crazy.
being around and her like whisking them away as fast as possible.
That was
but kind of made me
interesting.
think like
They were
maybe she
rude.
in her mind she's like, I'm protecting them from her. They were. But
Yeah.
I could see like maybe if there was some sort of like wall she
Sure.
put up,
or maybe
because
they
of
heard that
them.
Maisie's sick.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we
Right.
should
right.
like.
Well, but
or
then-
unless it
but-
really is just the way it is, and like
But
they heard she
remember,
was sick and they don't want to help.
said-
Yeah.
Ella said that she had reached out. Remember in the
Yeah,
in
she
one of
said
the
they
letters
reached out,
to
they wouldn't-
Oh, right,
Beckett,
right.
was like, I reached out to the parents a couple weeks ago, and they said like, not our
Yeah.
problem.
No,
Which,
I
that's
think that could be
crazy,
real, or
but
she could have made that up too. I
maybe
know it
she
would have
made
been
that
crazy to
yeah.
make up, but
I would love for Ella. Like, what if Ella's just like a totally unreliable narrator,
Yeah.
and this entire thing like could have been avoided, but she's
well,
crazy.
she does kind of seem like she really wants to do everything on her own.
totally.
So it's like,
Yeah.
very independent.
you know, maybe there is a world where she's like,
I
I'm
said-
not accepting help from these guys.
It took her 10 chapters to accept help. I said
Yeah.
it only took 10 chapters to accept his help. And I think it was because
Yeah.
he was already going to Denver and he was bringing the binder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that twist. I think that would be a big one because the fact that Beckett keeps mentioning the lie that he has, and we know what it is, I keep saying to myself that there must be something bigger that's coming
Yeah.
between one or the other that has a bigger lie.
Yeah,
and
they
then
must-
she reiterates that she cannot forgive a lie and she can't forgive a lie and
Yeah.
she doesn't do second chances. So I'm like, maybe she's actually a liar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be
and it's
that.
sort of
it's
like a projection.
Yeah,
that
could be.
Totally. Good
And
read.
totally could be. We'll see. Maybe we've come up with a better. Well, then what happens?
Right.
But
It's-
I do like talking about it
our
halfway
plot
through
is better than
to see.
Rebecca
Yeah,
Yarros.
right. Like
Yeah.
to see how it goes down. But that's
You were
definitely
saying earlier
possible.
too, Rhea, thinking that maybe there's a deeper secret, like with the death of the brother, like what's going on there.
Right.
Yes.
I was
think
just
that
gonna say
maybe
that too.
that he had, and I think maybe this is me rooting for a bigger twist.
Yeah.
Is that he had something to do with the brother's death and knows more about the brother's
Yeah.
death that he's hiding or shielding from her.
For sure. I think the latter for sure.
Maybe not directly something to
directly,
do,
but
but
something-
we were saying maybe he was
was
supposed to
sick,
go.
right.
And
Yeah,
it
for
was,
sure.
He,
Yeah.
he keeps alluding to something too.
And it
Totally.
feels like there's something bigger.
I was thinking like friendly fire, but I don't
No,
know.
I
by
don't
the way,
think
there's about
that-
one sentence, and it's like
I saw that.
I'm sure this book could have been like very, very triggering for people.
Of
Yeah.
course. About
Because
him
there's
being,
one
like,
line. It was
abducted.
like, oh, he was
Abducted.
abducted,
Yeah.
and was being
And
like
executed,
tortured and then
yeah.
executed, and then
Yeah.
they found him days later.
Well, that wasn't about the brother though.
No, but he
No,
was
that
like,
was
no
about
one,
the brother.
He was like, no one deserves to know that's how their brother died, or something is what he said, which implies to me, like, I don't
I
know if
thought
he's
he was
speaking
implying that
generally
that's what
or if
happened to
literally what
Ryan.
happened. That's what I thought as well. And the reason that I don't think that he directly had anything to do is because remember when like Donahue came up and was trying to like
Yeah.
convince him to sign up for in the reserves for a
Yeah,
couple years,
yeah.
whatever. And he was like, it's not like nothing was your fault. Like you got to stop beating
Yeah.
yourself up, whatever. So that tells me that there wasn't really like, if it was an accident,
Yeah.
I feel like the language would have been different there. But it sounds right. Like maybe he gave an order that like
Right.
you
Or
know,
even
chain
if that
reaction
was
or-
about him, like, and he was taken, you know,
Yeah.
maybe Becca couldn't find him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or if it was
Right,
too late to
right.
show, you know, when
Which
they
I
did
also
find him.
get, like I and maybe I don't know how I would feel if you guys had someone, a family member, like die in war. Would you want to know how they died, or would you be fine knowing that they died? Like, would you want to know details?
I don't
Like,
know. It's such
actually
an
know.
impossible question.
I
in
know
my
it's like a
mind.
sensitive question, but
Yeah,
I've had to think about it. I mean, she brings it up every minute. Like Ella wants to know so badly what happened to her brother and how he
Yeah.
died. But why? I don't know if I would want to know.
I
all
think
that.
it's a level of closure though, because
Yeah.
like she
Yeah, sure.
was saying, there's when you don't know.
Yeah.
I think there can be a part of you that thinks like maybe
one
he's
day.
out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, it's just especially knowing the ins and outs of the like special ops that they're, you know, involved with. I just feel the automatic assumption is like a gruesome death. Like you
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
No, for sure.
you know, and that's
For
horrible.
sure.
But I'm so
Guys were dropping
curious
like
why she
flies
just-
right at the beginning of the book.
Yeah, like why that's her one thing is like she's
Right.
always asking that. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, clearly she like we said, is, you know, she was when she met her husband, or what was it that her husband was, when she started writing, her husband was deployed in
Yes.
Afghanistan. So
Yes.
it's a whole different, you
Got
know,
it.
a whole different perspective.
I'm
But
so
even
curious,
like right off
yeah.
the bat, it was like they brought in that new young kid, and then like
Yeah.
3 paragraphs later, it was like he's dead. Like it's just.
And listen, I don't want it to come across like I'm talking shit about. I love a Rebecca Yarros book. I was
No.
just surprised having jumped from what I know her as to
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Is a crazy jump.
It is.
you
It
know?
is, and I think it is more. You can wrap your mind around it a little bit more. That this book, she wrote this book. This book came out in 2019.
Right.
So
It feels very personal to her.
it
this book.
does.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, Fourth Wing came out in 2023.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like
This book
a
feels
big gap
very
of time
2019.
before she started to jump more into like the fantasy realm.
And her
because she
husband's always
was
around.
writing more like YA love stories before that.
Got it.
Like
Okay.
here's some of the titles, like 1984, Against All Odds. That was maybe standalone novels. The Last Letter, Great and Precious Things, Muses and Melodies,
Oh.
The Things We Leave Unfinished.
Oh, geez.
A Little Too Close.
Oh boy.
You know, so there's like a lot. Like it's like
Oh,
I didn't know. I didn't know she
I
had
feel
these
like
in
it
her
was
bag.
maybe in the genre she was in.
Sure.
Right,
I
right.
just
Before
she's-
she started
she's
going.
so like, you know, she's got the purple hair streaks. Like she just is
Totally.
so that
But she wrote,
leaned
she did
into
that,
it so much.
and also
Yeah.
did the fantasy.
Right.
You know, she did
she
like
leaned into the fantasy. I
yeah.
thought she was like a true
Yeah.
blue fantasy from start to finish kind of girl. But
No, it
she's
had some other things
multifaceted.
mixed in there for sure.
Okay.
So
Now we know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we obviously have our critiques of
Sure, yeah.
of chapters 1 through 15, which is where we did stop, which At least I'll give her credit for like the pacing worked perfectly for us to discuss. Like
Absolutely.
at the
Yeah,
end of chapter 15, I was like, what a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Because
It really was,
Like,
yeah.
will
Right.
they get adopted? Like it's
Yes.
just like it was like
It's quite the
where they.
cliffhanger.
Yeah, yeah. So we were right there. It's like just about perfectly 50% through the book too.
I just thought of one more thing, sorry.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
when
yeah.
they're talking about Jeff and they're like, okay, we need to get Jeff's signature, and he's like, don't worry, I got it. Like, why is Becca dealing with
what
Jeff?
I'm saying.
He's never even met
He's
Jeff.
been collecting
If
info and he's
anything,
going to beat his ass.
That's gonna piss Jeff off. This random
He's gonna
guy's
show up
coming
like
up being
this.
like, I'm gonna adopt your kids with my big arms.
Rebecca Yarros is going to be like Beckett with his arms
know, but
bulging
doesn't that,
from his
like,
black
couldn't
t-shirt.
that
Shows up to
possibly-
Jeff's office and says, "Sign these fucking papers. These are
Yeah,
my
I feel like
kids."
it's way less harmful.
it's a
if
very abrasive.
Ella goes.
Yeah, very abrasive
Right.
to have this man jump to be like, I'm the
Yeah.
new father
Yeah.
of your kids.
Yeah.
He's like,
And-
Walks in.
he reminds me
but-
of like Vin Diesel in The Pacifier.
Right. Totally. And you know what?
No,
It
you
does,
gotta
but
think
it
of him
does
like
set
Scott
up
Eastwood.
like
It feels
does
better.
set up Jeff. It does set up a situation where Beckett goes to Jeff and Jeff's like, what? Like,
Yeah,
I
like,
I
who
I'd help
are
my
you?
kids.
He's like,
she
bro.
hasn't been telling me about
Yeah,
it.
He's like,
yeah.
what insurance
Yeah.
do they take? I got that insurance.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
He's like, I'm more than happy to
seriously.
help. You know, that would be quite the twist.
I am
It
very
would.
curious to how actually deadbeat Jeff is
Yeah.
and his family.
So then here's a question. Do we think that
Jeff.
Ella will be exposed in a lie? And then I keep wanting to call, because he's Chaos and Beckett, I keep wanting to call him Kayal, which is not a person in
no,
any world.
no.
That's Sarah J. Maas.
Yes, but he will maybe like he'll find out that she's lying and it'll be his moment to like stick around because you know he's always leaving and she
Yeah.
was like and he's been worried about like exposing these lies and whatever and she doesn't accept a liar, but if he finds out that like she's a liar, maybe he will be like, okay, this is here now is my time to really stand up and
Right.
like forgive her for these lies and like I
I don't
should
know.
show
I
love
think
her. I could see that.
I can definitely see it. I'm just kind of hoping that there is
A lie for a
some
lie.
other
Yeah,
element in
literally.
the second
A lie.
half that's not just he is going to have to come clean about being chaos.
Yeah.
Like I'm hoping
Yes.
that there's something else because
Something
obviously
else,
that's going to
yeah.
happen.
Yes.
We know that's going to have to happen. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering if there's going to be something else that happens with that. And if it's Havoc dying,
No,
I don't
it's
know
gonna
if
be
I'll.
so
I
fucked
don't know
up.
if I'll be
I'm
able
telling
to.
you right now,
I don't know if I'll be able to
Count your days,
read
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
Count your
That's why
days,
they
Havoc,
shouldn't
for
have
real.
made Havoc such a big deal because now when he goes, we're going to be
No,
very
no,
upset.
no,
She,
no.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna be,
Yeah.
we're gonna be very
Havoc
upset.
is a goner.
When if she goes up on that mound and doesn't come
Sorry,
back, I'm
she-
gonna lose it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that will cry harder in the book when the dog dies.
Of course.
So
That's like another thing, though. It's like, how many times are you going to mention that Havoc is mean but nice? Like, I just feel like she repeats the
Yeah,
same
yeah, I
things
know, I know.
over
Yeah.
and over again.
Classic
like
dog.
Classic.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
get it. Havoc is well
well,
trained.
she's a Labrador Retriever, you know, uncommon in the military.
Yeah, right, right.
And they
It's
mentioned
like-
that 50
and we're all
fucking times.
really
Like,
shocked.
we get it.
We're
She's
really
not
shocked.
a German Shepherd. Like, we know, okay?
Yeah.
We've established the
No.
breed and the species of this dog.
The biggest.
Everyone's so shocked.
I will say, like,
Nope, she's in work mode right now.
she is in work mode. You know, I think you guys are gonna regret your comments about the military dogs.
No,
They're
I am
real-
not. I am
No,
very
I have all
pro-military
respect
dog.
for the military dogs. I mean, any dog that's going to snitch on you is a bad dog to
course.
me. A drug
Of course.
dog.
No, I have a $1,000,000,000 respect. I've seen these
Yes.
military dogs in
Yeah,
action, and
yeah.
I respect
No,
Havoc a
and
lot.
Havoc saves the people. Like, you know, she's a search and rescue dog.
Yes.
She's
Yeah.
very well needed, much needed.
Yes.
And she's good at her job and she works very hard. I have a lot of respect
Yeah,
for
I
Havoc.
respect
Absolutely.
Havoc.
Yes.
I've said it 3 times now. It's
Yeah.
just like you're building Havoc up for Havoc.
Yeah,
to-
for something bad
Yes,
to happen.
yes,
for sure.
yes,
Havoc's
yes.
going to create havoc.
Something for sure. By far, my least favorite is just his Beckett's repetitiveness of
Yeah.
the "I have a secret I can't tell you." Like
it's gonna piss me
so
off
much
now.
repetitiveness.
It's gonna piss me
yeah.
off when Ella.
It's gonna go on for like
hears
12 more
this-
chapters.
For real, she like hears this lie, they expose the whole thing, and she is gonna get pissed and cut him out. I guarantee it. Like that's
Yeah.
what's
Totally,
gonna happen.
totally.
She's gonna be like,
It's- yeah.
"You lied,"
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna be a whole fucking
Liar.
thing. After all
Yeah.
this shit, he's gonna adopt a kid. It's gonna be a mess. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
mess. It's a mess.
No, it's a mess. The kids are going to be.
Stress.
Yeah. It definitely is a mess. I feel like I don't know. Do we want to at least give our like a grade on where we feel in the first half?
yeah.
Maybe it'll improve for the full book, but
I
like
think
at least
I honestly, I'll give a vibe, not a grade, because
Yeah.
I don't. My grade would be bad
Yeah.
currently, and I don't want to label this book bad because you need to see the end.
sure,
Like maybe
for
I'll
sure.
totally turn around, maybe I'll fall in love with these characters and like be sobbing by the end, whatever.
Yeah.
The vibe right now is just a little too pathetic for me. Like everything about it, and that's maybe not the right word, but it really is like one thing after another after another.
Yeah,
I need the light at the end of the
trauma.
tunnel. Like I need the light at the end of the tunnel to enjoy this book.
Yeah.
Like I love a sad book just as much as the next, but it's too deep.
I know,
it's too
does she have to be
heavy
on
for
debt
me.
on top of everything?
It's a
like
lot.
it's so
It's a lot.
stressful.
It really is.
It's very unfortunate, and I need the
But I mean, it makes
tides
sense
to turn
when you're paying
please.
for all those cancer treatments. That was another part where I felt like really
the health
sad when she was like
insurance thing?
talking
Yeah.
about how like she needs this surgery and that surgery and it's this expensive. I was like, damn, like that's something that every person, like so many people,
the health
struggle with in
insurance.
America.
Yeah,
like,
that's so true.
Yeah.
No, that was like the one of the more real
Relatable,
elements I
real
felt of the
part.
book
Yeah,
was
that's
that
true.
This woman is working her ass off for her kids, and
this
6-year-old has cancer, and she like can't afford it because her insurance doesn't cover
Yeah.
it.
which is nuts.
And
that
she like
felt
took
very
the risk
personal,
by
too.
getting
Like,
the less insurance
Right.
to do the
Totally a real element.
renovations.
Totally.
Yeah.
That
That
felt
was
like
a
a-
realistic.
yeah.
Yeah, that
it
was
feels like something
very
maybe
sad.
that has
Vibe
happened.
check, Rhea.
I will say that talking about it actually makes me feel more connected to the characters.
Yeah.
And makes me even more interested to keep reading.
Yeah.
So although when I was reading it, I felt sort of a disconnect and wasn't really loving it, I think talking about it right now is actually making me want to go back and finish it because I'm so much more invested because we've really like kind of dove deep
I
on
kind
it.
of feel the same.
Yeah.
I want to keep talking about it with
Right.
you.
So I'm like, initially I probably would have had like a way worse vibe, but it's also the vibe of not me really hating the book or the writing. It's more just like it's a sad story.
Totally.
And I was looking forward to something else from the last book that we read.
Yeah.
And now that I can put that to the side,
Yeah.
and now that we dove deeper, I think I can get more into this and come out on the other side and then give like an accurate grade of what I think this
Agreed.
is.
Agreed.
Because it is not a bad book.
Right.
It's just not what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that as well.
I get what you're saying for sure. My last question to you guys is: Do we think they end up together, Beckett and Ella?
Yeah, definitely. I think
I would be pissed off if they didn't.
I think they end up
They better.
together. I think Havoc dies. I think they get a puppy for what's his face for the kid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Maisie,
yeah.
I don't know. That
Yeah.
I'm
Maisie's
not so,
up in the
I
air.
kind of
No,
don't think
it's-
Maisie's gonna make it.
I feel like
think it's gonna
Maisie,
end up being
Havoc,
Ella,
and why do I
Beckett,
feel like
a new puppy and Colt? I think that's gonna be the family.
I'm like so jaded by these types of books now that like I feel like why do I feel like Colt's gonna die and it's not gonna be Maisie? You know what I
my
mean?
You know why?
God.
Because you saw Hamnet.
Yes, Kelly, literally.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh my
Kelly,
God.
literally.
Yeah, that just
that
like
was
honestly
Hamnet.
brought like a cult going missing in the mountains and
yeah, that
having
would make me
Havoc
sick.
saving
No.
kids.
That's what I'm
That would
saying.
make
Like,
me sick.
Oh my
every
God.
time you think it's the sick person, like think about Fault in
Yeah.
Our Stars.
I
Thinking
know.
about like
I
you know what I
know.
mean. Like,
Yeah.
every time you think it's a sick person, it's
Right.
always the other
Right,
person.
And especially
so
twins.
focused.
Yeah, very
Yes.
focused on how close they are as twins.
Yes.
And it's like you're looking one way and you got
I just got the chills.
No,
Yeah,
I don't wanna
it's
think
just
about
that's
that.
I was
gonna
gonna say,
be-
it literally happens in
Yeah.
Hamnet. Why
Yeah.
would it
Yeah.
happen in this?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
I was more in the realm of like the sweet older woman that helps at the resort
Ada
with like slip down the
dies.
stairs or something.
Oh,
She might. She might
Yeah,
catch
something
it as
easy
well.
like that.
Yeah, like I wasn't.
Well,
I
she
w-
did
yeah.
manage. She was
Go
like,
with
my
the
grandma's
kids.
dead, and Ada's the same age as my grandma.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck. Well,
But they're only in their 60s, so they're
Yeah.
she's so young.
okay.
So it's,
Oh, right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. I
Ella's
keep forgetting
only
she's 25,
25.
bro.
Yeah.
I'm 2 years older than this girl.
Yeah.
Right, and imagine you dealing with
I
two
would never
twin
have twins.
children, and also one
I
of them has
know.
cancer.
I love kids, but not for my own. Not for, I can't do kids, and I think that's why maybe I'm having to
You can't
disconnect with the
relate.
kids.
You can't
yeah,
relate.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
how you said you can't have twins. It's like if you decide to have a kid, there is a chance that you might have twins.
Yeah.
Which is so.
She's like,
do you
I
guys
don't
have
know about
twins
that.
in your family at all?
No, thank God.
No.
I
We
do.
have. What are you talking
Oh,
about? We
no.
have cousins that are twins.
Oh yeah, but fraternal though. I always
Yeah.
think about yeah, that's true.
That
I forgot
feel
we
like
had
is
cousins that are
different,
twins.
'cause identical is
Sorry,
the only
Michael
one
and Olivia.
that's it runs in the family, right? If it's identical, that's
And
like you're
normally,
likely to
sometimes
have.
they say, but don't they say it like skips a generation, and then it's like
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
No, there's not a single twin.
I mean,
in
just
the family.
imagine
We don't
finding
really
out
have
you're
that
pregnant
many
at
twins.
19, and then they're like, actually, there's 2 babies in there.
Yeah.
you're
And
like-
that's why I have respect for Ella. You know, she
Yes.
really
Yeah.
cares about her kids. She really does.
She grinds. Nobody
Yeah.
grinds harder than her, but God forbid she accepts a little
And
bit of
listen,
help.
Yeah.
quite the contrast to the last book where she didn't care about her kids.
She did not care.
She did not care about her sick
She
kid.
wanted she wanted to resolve her long lost love.
Yeah,
and now
then,
yeah.
you know,
cancer
Ella,
kid
she
said,
cares
"Hey,
a
I'll catch
lot
you in
about her
Texas."
kids.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that
Very-
is a relief.
I
Very,
would
very
like to
much so.
see Ella away from her kids for like a chapter or two, just
Yeah.
to see what
And
she's
I
like
thought she was
outside
gonna
of
go
her
out to the
kids.
bar when Haley was like, "Let's all go out to the bar." I thought they were gonna have like a
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah,
I said,
I was
yes.
like, okay, Ella, go out, have some
She's
fun.
25. She's like, I haven't worn makeup in forever. I'm like,
Yeah.
doll it up. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
And then we didn't get that.
I don't,
But, you know, Macy's still
if I
getting
had to
chemo.
guess, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, Macy's getting chemo. There's no
like
time.
one fun night
there's
out.
just some, that
there's
doesn't
no
fit in
time.
the
Too
chapter.
much.
No time
Yeah.
between appointments. They're driving back
No
and forth to
time to get
Denver. It's a
crunk.
3-hour drive. It's like there's no time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, damn.
But, all right, guys. So we will be back for part 2. And I also think when we talk about part 2, we can discuss anything else we've been reading this
Yes.
month. So if you
Yes.
guys want to catch up on anything that you've had on your shelf that you want to mention, we'll do that with our part 2 episode, which will be out at the end of the month, the 26th.
Oh, my birthday.
Your birthday, Gia's birthday.
Birthday drop.
So part 2, where we see if these predictions are right or wrong.
Yeah, we shall see.
Stay tuned. Will be February 26th. Thank you guys so much for reading with us. And we're so excited to finish this book with you all. And we'll be back on the 26th.
And drop your thoughts in the comments so that we can see what you guys are thinking about the book.
I was going to bring this up, and I'll bring it up right now because maybe I'll make this and it'll come out.
Oh.
But Fable, the app, has a feature to make clubs.
Yes.
So I think I'll make a same page book club on Fable. Everyone can join Fable and you can drop comments, discuss
Oh, I would
everything.
love
I think
that.
that's
I
Listen,
would love-
amazing. I'll be in there all the
that.
time.
Yeah,
I'm in there.
So that way we
Ready.
can see
I'll
what
be in the
everybody's
chat.
thinking.
Hell yeah.
And so by the time this comes out, I'll have made that and everyone can join. We'll post
Check
a
the
link on the
page, yep.
Instagram. And by the way, I do also want to clarify as well. Anybody that has any questions about what chapters we're reading, where we're stopping, what books we're planning to do, anything, the same page. There's no the same page book club on Instagram. We'll have all the info in posts and highlights. We have every month in a highlight, so you can go and refer to that to make sure we're all on the same pace and we're all on the same page.
Hey.
All right, thanks everybody. Love you. Bye.
Bye.